What the beer they got? Softball,
against the Russian army. And in the Ukraine, that is not enough. There's been a privacy order.
온실도 넣었습니다. 생고야 그거랑.